looking at this plant inside today. It's quite noisy in there. I'll go over what we're doing out here and then go inside and show you. The forklift keeps getting stuck on this little hump in the floor. So we're saw cutting a 3-foot wide, 45-foot long, and then a 3-foot wide by 26-foot long. It's 8 inches thick. So we saw cut it, hammer it, and then load it into the truck. The pieces are too big to pick up by hand and throw in the truck. So that's why I brought the 2 machines. Hopefully it goes real quick. We'll try and get it poured this afternoon, but a lot has to happen. There's all kind of bins stacked up that they're moving for us now. The guys are in there saw cutting. So let's head on in. And I'm going to have to do a voiceover on everything because it's just way too noisy in there. So I'll get my ear protection in and head inside. See you then. So here we are inside. These are the pallets that needed moved. They're bins full of polymer material. They were stacked all the way up this area from the work area to the wall. So over here is the area in question. You can see the height difference, and the edge keeps crumbling every time the forklift crosses over it. A tripping hazard, as well as the forklift gets stuck in there. So as we move on down here, this is our bigger area, and we have a couple of chalk lines on the floor, and we're using a sprayer to help keep the dust down as we follow our chalk line. We have to go about 8 inches deep all the way along there, taking this crown out. I just put a little bit of the noise in there so you could see what we're dealing with, how loud it is in there, and why I had to do a voiceover on everything. So we'll go ahead and continue doing the demo. The saw cutting did take about twice as long as I was anticipating. Concrete being 8 inches thick, it just took a long time for that saw to get all the way through that. We had to do multiple passes, multiple times filling up the sprayer, trying to keep the dust down, doing the best we could to accomplish both of that. So some long skinny runs, just took a lot of passes to get all the way through the concrete to make the demo go a little bit smoother. So it's just a little bit more to get through to be all the way to the bottom of the concrete. I brought the hammer machine in first, and Steve is starting to demo the far end away from all the dirt, dust, trying to keep the machine as clean as we can. Just pulverizing it, this area real good. Then I can get my bucket in there and hopefully pick up some pretty big chunks. But in order to get in there, of course, we really have to pulverize the starting position. This is the biggest breaker I could get for my excavators. The nice thing is it's interchangeable between the 305 and the 306. So both machines can share it, as well as their buckets are interchangeable as well. So it's nice to have 2 machines close to the same size, but there's always that time where you need one just a little bit bigger to do different jobs. Now from this angle you can see I'm hammering about every 2 or 3 feet. I pulverize the far end to your left so I can get my bucket underneath all the debris, and once I get it in, now I can just start peeling up big slabs and loading them straight into the truck. The nice thing about working in this building, other than it being rainy and cold outside, is that the ceiling height is about 35 feet high. So we can pick up, raise it all the way up and swing it into the back of the dump truck without worrying about hitting any lights anything overhead. We have plenty of working room. So you can see how fast the excavators were at breaking up the concrete, digging it, loading it. We finished that section up before the guys were even able to cut through number 2 section. That's a 16-inch saw. It'll cut approximately 7 inches in depth. It's a pretty powerful saw, but to do that all in one pass just really wasn't working. We had to do multiple trips trying to cut past our end, our start and our end, just so we can get those corners out nice and clean. So as we go past our vertical cut, now we're doing our drilling and pinning halfway down, tying both old slab and new repair together. Both sides, we'll bridge it all together with rebar. So again, 8 inches of concrete out front here, same as in the back. Look how fast this hammer breaks right through that concrete. It punches through it like it's not even there. To do this with a handheld jackhammer, I think you'd be there for quite some time and it would be quite a workout. Now we've done it, but this is the way to go. So there it is, all busted out, loaded in the truck, and we were moving our machinery out of there just when the guys were coming back for lunch. You'll see them moving around here a little bit. So we just had a little bit of sweeping up to do, and really didn't want to disrupt their work at all. So it worked out pretty well.
Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning back into Conquer with the Hosses. If you're a first time viewer, thanks for tuning in.
We got another blast of winter rolled through. Got about 2 inches of snow last night, and that's how it goes for the next 2 weeks. It'll be 65 one day and 20 the next. So I'm letting the machines warm up. I got to load just about maybe 3 ton of limestone on the truck. We have a real nice project inside, so come on and check it out. Okay, so we just need to get the stone. Just a couple wheelbarrows in here. We want to pour this about 6 inches thick, tamp it, plastic, then we'll throw our rebar in. This is the big one, 3 by 49, 3 by 26, and we have a small one right over there. That looks good. I was digging through the POW whenever I load this. I didn't want that frozen crunchy stuff on top, so I dug through the POW, got the better stuff. It's going good. Guys are getting tools in here. We're gonna pull a mixer right through that door and shoot all this in place. Perfect day for this project. Small project. There's a slope in the floor right there that the forklifts kept getting stuck on. I was trying to convince them to take this slab out and lower it all, but a little bit too pricey to do that. So next best thing, we just lower that transition, fix that tripper step, and they're good to go for a little while. So the only thing left to do is tamp this area. Then we got our plastic and rebar all ready to go in these holes. This is frozen. They're starting to move. I don't want to force it. There we go. I just heard a click. Okay, I was just letting this thaw out a little bit. It was on the back of the trailer all weekend. If we started too soon, we could break these belts. It's starting to warm up. It's about 70 degrees in here. But this was what was it last night, about 15 degrees. Just give that a minute to warm up and we are back in action. Last thing I wanted to do was force that, break it, and mixer do, and we got an issue. You gotta love Honda engines. I gave it one pull and it fired right up. So we'll just let that warm up a little bit. So that's what we're looking for. We're pinned in both sides. Now they can run forklift traffic over that without crumbling the edge and without getting stuck. So we're just mixing him up outside. We don't want all that exhaust at a full rev inside the building. A little bit of idle, they have good ventilation, they'll be fine. We'll get most of it done out here. Put 1% in the truck, heated material, hot water, and we're inside. We'll be pulling them in shortly. Okay, opening up the door. Uh-oh. Not gonna make it. It didn't open all the way. I'll see if I can disconnect it. Pull up some more. Oh my gosh, nope. No, front tires are coming up. Let's see if we can disconnect that over there. We had to disconnect this release gate here. Seeds open it. Let's try that again. Okay, plenty of room. And this is the highest part. wide open. All the way down, George. Looking good. From up here I can make sure nobody's coming down these aisles getting hit by the truck. Alright, taking them right down to those wheelbarrows, and we'll just run the concrete over to that little pad. Alright. Alright, here we go. A lot of water in that first one. There may have been a lot of ice up in the top of that hopper. We'll lose that. Just keep it nice, as clean as we possibly can right here. Not a long wheelbarrow. And it's a small section. Notice how Steve sets the bullpoke and pulls it all uphill. We don't want this top edge to sag down. Low and flat. Way pulling it uphill. This one's only about 2 inches higher, where this one has a pretty steep incline, 3.5 inches higher. There's a big crown in this floor. I wanted to take that all out. Okay, get him out of here. We'll do all our cleanup outside. Yeah, backing him back out with the door open all the way. Now keeping in mind the weight's off the truck now, so that's going to be up a little bit. But we have a foot of clearance up there. We're just going to clean up right at the base of this hillside. Going good. Concrete's setting up a little bit. We just want to make sure that we're even from old to new concrete. We don't want to dip here and we don't want to bump here. We want those forklift tires to roll right over here and right off of there. So just taking our time, floating this edge in nice and flat and true. And we'll give it a slight roll. Now we'll let that set up a little bit and give it a nice soft broom mark, just enough for some traction. This first one's all rubbed up. I just put a control cut connecting these, a control cut through our little patch here. And then this was pretty long still, so I put one center on that. That's 16 feet. From cut to cut, 6 inches thick. So now we'll just let that sit, ready for a broom. Jim's just cleaning it up a little bit with a steel trowel. We're inside here, and I don't know that he knows it's getting broomed, but that's okay. A steel trowel on that inside, not a problem. It'll broom real nice. Final pad. Go ahead and get this rubbed and edged and and ready for a broom. Keeping a close eye on the concrete. It's starting to set up pretty good, just leaving a little bit of finger mark in it. We'll start down here. Probably a 2-pull. I wouldn't push and pull, just a pull. Get a nice soft broom on that. Cleaning up the edge. This floor here is smooth, but it's beat up a little bit. With this transition, I didn't want to do this smooth and have it slippery. There's some traction on there for people walking, as well as the forklifts rolling over it, getting these bends. Just set a bucket at each corner and tie caution tape right around there. Take care of this one and we'll do the same over there. That's how we're going to leave all this. It was pretty noisy on that other side. The buckets are cheaper than the orange cones, so we just use them and we can leave them here. Okay, let's head back outside into the cold. Oh boy, back to winter. Okay, we just finished up that project. I am happy to be out of there. It was nice and warm, but it was so noisy with all that machinery running. So we'll do some voiceovers on that video and try and catch everything we did and go over some detail there. So as always, thanks for tuning in to Conquer with the Hosses. See you on the next one.